Coming to paperback and e-readers, John Haynes, 1987. Learn lessons about life and teenage love in the 1980s with this coming-of-age John Haynes story. Pre-order your copy of John Haynes, 1987 at online booksellers everywhere. Last week, I made a video about Khadijah Brown, the 28-year-old black woman who allegedly murdered her husband, Jerry Brown, while she was having an argument with him that she was taping on Facebook Live. Now, Khadijah Brown, as she was having this argument with Jerry Brown, showed she had absolutely no respect for her husband, and this is something many black men don't take a critical examination of before they get involved with any woman of any race. Now, the big problem I see with black men as related to their relationships with women is they don't understand their own value, and because they don't understand their own value, they don't demand respect from the women in their lives. Now, this is something many young black men learn at an early age as they are being raised as boys, primarily in environments like single mother households. Because these boys are raised in single mother households, oftentimes they do not see their mothers paying respect to the men in the community or showing respect to their fathers, and because they don't see their mothers showing respect to the men in their community or showing respect to their fathers, they learn that it's their job to tolerate disrespect at an early age. And this is how you can get males like Jerry Brown out here who sit there and tolerate abuse from a woman like a Khadijah Brown, because he's learned how to tolerate this kind of emotional and mental abuse at an early age, and he's been conditioned to believe that this type of abuse is perfectly normal behavior. However, this behavior is dysfunctional, and it lays the foundation for this young boy to accept abuse in a relationship and believe that abuse is a part of a healthy relationship. However, abuse in a relationship is not healthy, and many of the relationships young black boys learn and see their models for are codependent, and they are relationships where the male believes that he has to sit there and tolerate abuse from a woman because he saw his mother participating in similar abuse, because he sees his mother the only authority figure in the community that he is raised around, and believes that he cannot challenge the power of the female authority figures, so he believes that he has to tolerate disrespect instead of taking his respect as the head that God established him to be. Now, the Most High established the man to be the head and established the man to be the leader of the black community. Unfortunately, because many black males grow up in single mother households, they abdicate their power and position to most of the females in the community because they have been taught to submit to female authority figures, and they have been taught to not only respect the female authority figures, but in some cases to deify and worship those authority figures. And because they have been taught to deify and worship these black women, what they learn is that they cannot go out here and challenge those women to take their respect. No, what they learn how to do is tolerate disrespect and abuse from many black women, and they believe that they have to accept and tolerate abuse as part of a healthy relationship. And that's basically what was shown with what I saw in the video with Jerry Brown, as his wife was just verbally castigating him and abusing him as he was looking to get ready to go to work. Here was a man looking to just get ready to start his day, and instead of looking to start a day and get going to work, he was being verbally abused by a woman and believing that he needed to tolerate this kind of abuse. And the place that he learned this was basically possibly in his home with his mother, because when I look at the way this male was behaving, the only reason why he was putting up with that abuse is because he learned how to tolerate that abuse at an early age. Now, many black males, again, because they grow up in these abusive environments, they do not know how to set boundaries with women. And because they don't know how to set boundaries with women, they don't understand that you have a right to be respected in a relationship. No, because they grow up in these dysfunctional single mother households, what they believe is that the woman has all of the power and they have to submit to the woman and pander to her in order to gain her favor. And when they do that, what they do is create a paradigm where they will never receive any sort of respect, because when you have a male who sits there and panders to women, those women see him as weak, and because they see him as weak, what they do is further disrespect him. And I believe that this Jerry Brown was basically being disrespected for an extended period of time, and he never stood up for himself as related to this relationship. Because in order for a woman to escalate her behavior to the point where she's putting hands on a man as he's trying to just get ready for his morning, and then escalates her behavior to pull out a firearm on said man, that man has never learned how to set a boundary with any woman. And because he's never learned how to set boundaries with any woman, these women believe that they have a right to disrespect him. And that's all because many of these black males do not understand how to take their power as related to a relationship early on when you're dealing with an out of control and difficult and out of pocket woman. Now, Jerry Brown, as I see it, possibly was dealing with levels of disrespect when he was possibly courting this Khadijah before he wound up marrying her. And he was possibly sitting there thinking, oh, I'll tolerate her big mouth and her bad attitude in the hopes of getting her to drop the skid mark jockey draws, and believe that if he could go out here and tolerate her, he would be able to gain sexual access. And this is the covert contract that does in many black men, because many black men do not understand that respect has a higher value than a woman's attention. Respect has a higher value than a woman's sexual access. Respect has a higher value than even having a relationship with a woman, because if you do not have respect for yourself, you don't have any foundation for any relationship whatsoever with any woman of any race. Now, you'll hear many black males sit there and say, oh, these black women, are out of pocket and out of control. But the reason why many of these women behave in such a dysfunctional fashion is because many of these males out here do not respect themselves to lead their own lives by setting hard boundaries with disrespectful and out of pocket women, by simply walking away from these women when they start to act out of control. Because that one act shows how you have respect for yourself. Because when you have respect for yourself enough to say, I'm not going to put up with being disrespected, I'm not going to put up with this woman talking to me any kind of way, I'm not going to put up with this woman putting hands on me, you are setting a line in the sand. And when you set that line in the sand, you are sending a message to the world that you have value as a man. And when you set a line in the sand with people, what they understand is they cannot go any further with you at that point. So many black males, they have a big problem as looking at this woman's big butt and her triple D chest and thinking, oh, I want to get with her, when she needs to get with your program. And the way she shows you she wants to get with your program is by showing you your respect. And if she can't show you your respect, her big butt and her triple D chest and everything else that goes with it, like the skid mark jockey draws, are not worth your time, because your time is precious and you don't want to waste your time investing it in somebody who cannot show you the basic respect. That is something many young black males never learn, because in those single mother households, they're taught to tolerate disrespect. They're taught it's okay to sit there and tolerate a woman talking greasy, talking slick, and making slick comments, which are the foundations of disrespect. And again, when somebody disrespects you, you take your respect not by putting hands on anyone, but by walking away from them and cutting off all contact with that individual, because this individual is not worth your time, and they're not worth your time because they're not going to show you the basic respect. And if they cannot show you the basic respect to value you as a person, then they are not allowed to be in your presence. That is what any self-respecting man does when he's dealing with a disrespectful person. When he's dealing with a disrespectful person who is out of pocket, he will go out here and deal with that person by just cutting off all contact with them and letting them know, okay, this person is out of pocket. I'm not dealing with this person anymore, and I'm not going to deal with them because they cannot show me basic respect. And again, if this person continues to persist, you let them know, hey, you're out of pocket. You're not going to talk to me like this. And this is how you check a disrespectful woman. This is something many black males are afraid to do, because when they look at women, they see them just like their mamas. And because they see them just like their mamas, they believe that they are female authority figures that they cannot offend. But a man, when he's dealing with a woman, has to not be afraid to check a woman, because as a head, he is supposed to get his respect. And again, if this woman does not give you respect, you take your respect, and you take your respect by checking said woman, by saying, hey, you're out of pocket. You're not going to talk to me like this. And you're going to let them know, you do not talk to me like this. You are disrespecting me. And that's how you check that woman right there. And again, you've got to have backbone and stones to do this, because you have to understand you have value as a man. And when you stand up for yourself, you are showing that you have some dignity, and you have enough dignity to stand up for yourself, so that people understand that when they engage you, they have to engage you on your terms, and they have to engage you by the boundaries you establish for them. This is a big problem I see with many black males as they engage black women. One of the problems that they have with black women is they never set boundaries with those women, because many of these males, they think they have to pander to those women if they hope to get her attention or sexual access. But the whole thing is, if you don't demand your respect, you're not going to get any sort of attention or sexual access, because this woman will not respect you. And the only women who will give you that access are predators, and those predators don't respect you. They're just using you to get whatever they want out of you. And again, a man has to set boundaries, and this is a problem I'm seeing with black males, like I saw with Jerry Brown in that video on Facebook Live. On that video, I saw a man who basically let a woman get away with too much, and possibly didn't see the warning signs as related to the courtship, because the warning signs are shown to you in courtship. When you're dating this woman learns to disrespect you because you allow her to get away with the slick mouth, with the snide comments, with the showing up late. This is the stuff that allows her to believe, okay, I got away with disrespecting him by not showing up on time. I got away with saying something slick about what he ordered at the restaurant. I got away with saying something slick about his job. Okay, I'm getting away with little stuff, so I'm going to further escalate my behavior to see what other stuff I can get away with. And this is where a man, when he sees this starting up early on, this is where he says, thank you, I had a nice evening, and he leaves. And he calls it a date, charges her to the game, because he understands the disrespect he's getting here is going to only get worse. And if a person is showing me disrespect from minute one, this is a date that should be done. Unfortunately, you've got guys like a Jerry Brown who continue to pursue a relationship with this type of woman, thinking things are going to get better, but they're not going to get better until a man sets a hard boundary. Because when a man sets a hard boundary, one, it shows that he's a leader and he is establishing authority. And two, when a man sets boundaries, it shows that he values himself. And when a man values himself, he's going to say, okay, I'm only going to tolerate being treated a certain way. And if people do not treat me the way I want to be treated, then I am not going to allow them to be in my presence. That is what a man says when he's dealing with anybody out here. He says, look, I want to be treated a certain way. And if someone does not give me my respect, I will take it by leaving these people right where I found them, because these individuals do not respect me. And if these individuals do not respect me, then I will take my presence away, because I have value as a person and I have worth as a person. And if these people cannot treat me with the value that I have, then I do not spend time to build anything with these people, because they will tear it down the same way Khadijah Brown tore down her entire family, because she had no respect for her husband at all. Yes, this woman married this man, but she possibly married him because she got pregnant and had nobody else to go to, but she did not respect this man. And the whole thing is, many relationships in the black community, sadly, are ones based on disrespect, because many people don't have any sense of self-worth, and many black males don't have any sense of self-worth to stand up like men and say, I'm not going to stand for disrespect. I'm not going to stand for you talking greasy to me. I'm not going to stand for you talking slick to me. I'm not going to stand for you coming to me late. I'm not going to stand for disrespect, because if you stand for a little disrespect, it's going to turn into a lot of disrespect, like in the case of Jerry Brown, where he's staring down the barrel of a firearm pointed at him by his woman, because she doesn't know where the line is. And the reason why she doesn't know where the line is, because he as a man never set any boundaries, and he never set any boundaries because he never learned that a man has worth, possibly because he never had a father in his life to show him a man, modeling how a man is supposed to be treated and how a man is supposed to be respected in a relationship. Because a lot of people, they look at Khadijah Brown as the villain, and she is a villain. But one of the reasons why these guys get involved with these types of women is because they don't understand their worth as men. And because they don't understand their worth as men, they don't understand that they are entitled to respect. And if people do not give you respect, again, you take your presence away from them, because you deserve to be respected and you deserve to be treated like the way you want to be treated. And again, if you want to be treated right, you have to demand that treatment in the beginning. It is not something you can expect to be implied as related to anyone. When people get the slick mouth, you need to check them right then and there. When they start doing things like being late, you got to say, hey, my time is valuable. Do not waste my time. And you've got to let them know that you have value, because if you don't let people know your value, what they will continue to do is disrespect you to the point where they're looking to go out here and do harm to you. And this is something many black men do not understand. They sit there and think, oh, I have to settle for a bad attitude. I have to settle for a nasty mouth. I have to settle for all sorts of disrespect. No, I don't have to settle for anything. No, if you start acting up in front of me, that's when I leave you right where I find you. And whatever happens to you at that point is not my problem, because if you could not show me respect, then I am not going to spend a further minute with you. And this is something many black men really need to understand, because while they complain about disrespectful black women, the big problem is not just the women. It's about them never learning how to take their respect as a man, because it doesn't matter whether they travel to meet with these white or foreign women, they run into the same dysfunctional paradigm, and they run into that same dysfunctional paradigm because they've never learned how to be a man, and they don't know the standards of being a man. And this is the problem with them. They sit there and want to tolerate women, and again, there is no tolerate, there is respect. Because one of the other problems I see with a lot of black men is that they mistake like for respect. They think that like, because this woman is in her feelings and likes you, it means something, when like means absolutely nothing. Like means that, oh, I have a feeling about something or someone, but respect means I value that person, and respect means I value that person, that I treat that person like I want to be treated, and respect means I see this person as somebody I regard, and that's something many black men aren't really thinking about when they think about women, because they've never had a man to sit down and tell them about the concept of respect. And again, the concept of respect is the most important part of a relationship, because the concept of respect, this means that this person values you as a person, values your time, values you as and everything about you, and because they value you, they see your life as important. And this is something black men really have to start understanding about relationships. Again, if you can't get your respect from minute one, there is no start of anything at all. Now, if you want to learn more about the concept of respect, you can pick up my book, Stop Simping, Why Men Don't Need Finance to Get Romance, on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find Stop Simping on other online booksellers like Smashwords, the iBookstore, and Google Play. And if you want to pick up some of my other men's issues books, like Manginas, The Misadventures of Captain Savin, Stop Simping in the Workplace, Stop Simping in Cyberspace, The Woman Crisis, and Why 70% of Black Women Are Single, you can find all of those books on Amazon.com, along with Stop Simping, Why Men Don't Need Finance to Get Romance, and my fiction work, like the John Haynes series. You can find all those books on Amazon.com and other online booksellers like Smashwords, the iBookstore, and Google Play. And if you want to see me make more men's issues videos like this, you can donate to my Patreon, my PayPal, and my Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and e-readers, John Haynes, Godbreaker. The man who rules the world takes on the Asgardian god of thunder in this action-packed, all-new John Haynes series adventure. Get your copy of John Haynes, Godbreaker in paperback and e-readers at online booksellers everywhere.